Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. A wide open Wednesday edition of the program. You're the show producer on Wide Open Wednesday. Yep, you're the show producer. Dial us up on the Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. 504-766-9480. That's right, Mr. Drew Brees. It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Thank you for that. 766-9480. That's how you get involved. That's how you can become the show producer. I've got a show sheet chock full of show topics. And on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, we're pretty wide open. We never screen calls. We never cut you off if we disagree. But on Wide Open Wednesday, even more carte blanche. Maybe there's something you think we're not discussing enough, or worse, not at all, and it's of vital importance. Dude, have you seen what's going on in the South China Sea? You know, might be something like that we're missing. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. New Orleans City Councilman Eugene Green's going to join us in about 15 minutes from the council chamber, where Ghassan Corbin and the Sewage and Water Board folks were visiting with the council. Council should be talking to Ghassan Corbin and the Sewage and Water Board, just like I had Ghassan on the program the other day. Should be having him on. Should have him at the city council meeting. That's important. That's smart. Because Saturday we had a pretty good rainfall and there was flooding around New Orleans. And Turbine 5 went down again. You know, just this. The key, though, on all of this, I mean, I hear a guy talking about, hey, just replacing turbines. And then I hear one guy on the radio, former FM disc jockey, granted, doing talk radio, and says the turbine's not pumping water. Yeah, I don't know if a turbine that produces electricity, A, pumps water, or B, you want it anywhere near water. That would probably shut the turbine down. They're inside of buildings. They're producing electricity. You don't want, trust me, hey, let's insert a hose inside the turbine. See how it's working, pumping water? That's not how it works. The pumps pump the water. Problem with a lot of these old pumps, they run on 25 hertz. We run our electricity at 60 hertz. So the Sewage and Water Board literally needs to make their own power or convert power to 25 hertz until in about the next 2 decades, all those 25 hertz pumps are replaced by 60 hertz pumps. We can go on and on about explaining what's going on at the Sewage and Water Board, what they have working, what they don't, what breaks down, what doesn't, on and on and on. But you kind of have to know a history of all this. You have to know what's going on. Like today, I learned a great fact on Twitter, believe it or not. You're like, Corey, how did you learn something on Twitter? Well, Twitter was just the vehicle that brought it to me. It obviously can't be, Frankie Magoo, who's just on Twitter having fun. He usually talks about space aliens and the like. No, I actually had a little, not back and forth, but was commenting on something about the Sewage and Water Board. David Hammer from Channel 4 was talking about turbines and said, Corey, the Sewage and Water Board actually got a quote in 2013 from Siemens, the German company, like General Electric of Germany, for a 25 hertz turbine. So it appears they can still be produced. But you're right, they're rare, and most of the options considered were for 60 hertz generators with frequency changers. So I learned from David Hammer during the Landrieu administration, during Cedric Grant The Cedric Grant era at the Sewage and Water Board. Trust me, I know more about the Sewage and Water Board from doing this program and doing a little bit of work and investigating it and asking questions and going down to the plant. I know more about it than Cedric Grant does, literally. We could do a Sewage and Water Board tests on turbines and pumps and when they were made and how many there are and where the pumping stations are, and I would score at worst as well, if not better than Cedric Grant. Easily. I'm confident in that. Cedric Grant is a political, anointed, appointed hack. Just a brown noser, inserts butt up politicians' rear end, and for decades and decades and decades fleeced the city like hundreds of others, if not thousands of others, just like him. Definitely hundreds. These anointed, appointed jokers that always seem to be involved in politics, no matter who's the mayor. They have to be appointed or anointed somewhere. They have to be on the city's dime. What they do, what their expertise is anyone's guess. Cedric Grant pulls $180 a year in retirement, $180K, after fleecing the city for decades, doing absolutely nothing. It's like the John Hilario syndrome. It's a blank sheet of paper resume. No, still pulls $180 a year. No, it's sinful because it's not sustainable. The citizens of New Orleans have to subsidize that nonsense. Anyway, so back then when Cedric Grant, just clueless, Mayor Mitch Landrieu, they had a chance to buy a 25 hertz Siemens generator, which would basically have bridged the gap from 2013 to when this substation's going to open up in 2025. It essentially would have solved about 90% of the problems. That would have been the main turbine that never would have gone down. It's brand new. It would never go down over a 10, 12, 13-year period. With proper maintenance, it would never go down. It's brand new. And then turbine 5 and 6, the 1915 era and 1958 era turbines would be backup and reserve only for emergencies. They go out like on Saturday, no problem, because you got this Siemens 25, kilowatt turbine going. At the very least, the city should have purchased a turbine with converters to have backup power for turbines 5 and 6. But Mitch Landrieu and Cedric Grant, it's a joke even mentioning him, they chose not to go in that direction. So David Hammer, thanks for the information. That's great having people like that out there. When I say I learned something on Twitter, I didn't learn a thing on Twitter. I learned something from David Hammer at Channel 4 television. The Sewage and Water Board actually got a quote in 2013 from Siemens for a 25 hertz turbine. But the city refused to get it. City went in another direction. Anyway, New Orleans City Councilman Eugene Green's going to join us in about 6 minutes. And we'll find out exactly what went down, what the council was asking the Sewage and Water Board, what the Sewage and Water Board's answers were, the problems, the potential short-term solution, if there is one. Is it have to wait for this substation to come online in about a year and a half? Kind of in la-la land until then. Eugene Green will fill us in a few minutes. IG report into Vappy because I'm Vappy. The audio leak during the PIB investigation. I use the word investigation with PIB very, very lightly. Anyway, I'll fill you in on that stuff as well. Blue Plate Mayonnaise. Were you at the Po' Boy Fest a few weeks ago on Oak Street? The world's largest jar of mayonnaise was the big blow-up Blue Plate Mayonnaise. The kids love it. They run up and hug the big jar of mayo. Blue Plate Mayonnaise. Hey, new look, same legendary taste. You're riding on the Pontchartrain Expressway, right there on the parking garage for the old New Orleans Center, by Champion Square, by the arena, by the Dome. There's a huge Blue Plate Mayonnaise banner, and you can see the new look, the new label. But like I said, same legendary taste, a New Orleans family tradition since 1927. Blue Plate Mayonnaise. Corey Johnson with you, a New Orleans tradition. Global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Calling you now. Oh, whoops. Corey Johnson back at you on a Wednesday afternoon, a wide open Wednesday. Eugene Green, New Orleans City Councilman's going to join us. Hey, you know, this program on radio, oh so fine 93.9 FM. Oh so fine 93.9 FM. New Orleans own 107.9 FM. 600 AM from Baton Rouge to Pensacola, Florida. When I speak about Baton Rouge, 600 AM, also Cox Channel 4 television in Baton Rouge. If you're a Cox TV subscriber, anywhere in Louisiana, Cox Channel 4, weekday afternoon starting at 4. Baton Rouge, radio and TV. Internet, YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. I bring up Baton Rouge because Helm Paint and Decorating has invaded Baton Rouge with 4 area locations. That's right, Baton Rouge. Legendary Helm Paint and Decorating with 7 Metro New Orleans locations, East Bank, West Bank, North Shore, Mandeville, Hammond, they got you covered. Free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro New Orleans. And Helm Paint and Decorating in Baton Rouge with 4 capital city locations. Helm Paint and Decorating, free 2-hour delivery anywhere in Metro Baton Rouge, just like New Orleans. Pick your Benjamin Moore colors online. In 2 hours, they bring it right to your site, your house, your business, your job site. Your guys can keep working with that free 2-hour delivery. Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations in New Orleans, 4 Metro Baton Rouge locations. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. Go to Helm Paint and Decorating, now in Baton Rouge. Gotta love that. Corey Johnson with you on a Wednesday. 504-766-9480. You can call us. 504-766-9480 on a wide open Wednesday. Yeah, the IG, Ed Michelle. First off, thank God for this guy. He's like a pit bull, and we need that. We desperately need that in the city of New Orleans. Folks like Raphael Goyeneche, above reproach, apolitical. They're not going after Democrat or Republican or black or white or old school or new school. They're just going after where the tips lead them, where there is criminal activity. No, Raphael Goyeneche, Metropolitan Crime Commission, that type of watchdog, thank God. Ed Michelle, the IG's office. I just mentioned David Hammer from Channel 4, Travers Mackle, Cassie Sherm, Lee Zurich. You thank God for these types. We need these watchdog types looking at city government, scrutinizing it. The city government and the politicians shouldn't be doing anything, hiding anything from us. None of that. Shouldn't be trying to fool us. None of that. There's nothing that needs to be kept secret. It is literally like they work for us. They're our elected officials. They work for us like we own the business. The business is the city of New Orleans. They're the employees. They work for us. We kind of allowed like the Edwin Edwards. We've kind of, the Edwin Edwards, the John Ilarios, the Bill Jeffersons. We've allowed those folks to kind of dictate how it is. Name an arena after my father who doesn't deserve the arena named after him. Have these card games at the Capitol. We just accept it. Money in the freezer. We just accept this. We're like numb to it. It's like litter in New Orleans or neutral grounds with weeds or blight or broken infrastructure. We just accept it. We're numb to it. No, and it's a nightmare. So having these folks that are honest and have integrity and ethics and morals and work hard and work for us, are civic minded, care about the community, it's all obvious. These are very important people in our community. And Ed Michel at the IG's office, he's kind of cut out of the same cloth as the New Orleans originator, the guy that established the office, Bob Sarasoli. I mean, we did that right post-Katrina. I pushed for it. I pushed for funding when I was running for council at large. I remember at a forum, Cynthia Willard Lewis, Jackie Clarkson, what was her name? I forget the other few politicians, kind of political folks, been in the business. Didn't even know what the IG's office was. Didn't know what it did. I'm explaining it during these forums. They're picking up on it. Their people are picking up on it. Then all of a sudden they're saying what I'm saying. Then all of a sudden they're pro IG's office. I'm not making that up. I'm not patting myself on the back. That's how it went down. You can call Bob Sarasoli. Ask him about securing funding and the city council on board and making it part of the city budget where the council and the politicians can't mess with the money, autonomy for the office. So Bob Sarasoli set it up right. An example of an office that's set up poorly is Jefferson Parish. I mean, you Jefferson Parish folks, I was laughing at some folks criticizing New Orleans politics from Jefferson Parish. I'm like, all Jefferson politics is hyper political, just like New Orleans. Political machines. Harry Lee, Newell Norman, Joe LaPinto, Cynthia Lee Shang. I mean, come on. You're kidding, right? And then there's so much corrupt politics all over Metairie and backyard deal, behind the scenes deals, all of that. It's a joke. And it bleeds over to the North Shore. The Jefferson Parish IG doesn't produce any reports because the politicians control the office. McClintock left because it was like, I'm not even an IG, just by name and title, and I get a paycheck. But I can't do any investigative work, no audits, no real anything. And an IG is super important. It literally is like a CPA that scrutinizes city government, public spending, taxpayer dollars, public projects. It's really set up just like, hey, you guys really weren't doing that in an efficient way. There's a better way to do it. That's what it really is all about, 90% of it. And then that tax dollar, instead of us getting 70 cents on the dollar or 80, we get $1 out of the dollar. We get the projects efficient and well run and not waste. And then these investigations and audits lead sometimes to criminal behavior going on with contractors or public officials. And then the IG notifies the FBI or the Eastern District U.S. Attorney or whoever, whatever entity. No, thank God for a strong IG in Orleans Parish. It's pathetic that Jefferson Parish has one that doesn't do anything. No reports coming out of Jefferson. You Jefferson Parish folks think like, yeah, because New Orleans has so many problems and we don't. Then you're a child and you're delusional. And you want to believe that. Jefferson Parish's IG should be producing about 50-60% of what Orleans Parish's IG is doing. About 2/3. And they're doing about 5%, maybe. Nothing. St. Tammany has 250,000 folks, a booming economy, lots of public projects, expansion of this new road, drainage, all this. You taxpayers pay for it all. A.G. Crow, who came up with the Naturally Nolens Bridge, that genius, was against an IG for St. Tammany. You guys need your money scrutinized more than anyone. So many projects. My God, if I lived in St. Tammany, I would demand an inspector general, a CPA that scrutinizes how public dollars are being spent. My God, it's a no-brainer. The beautiful thing is right away they find money that's being wasted. The office usually pays for itself within about a year or two of being in business. In New Orleans, it was like year one, it paid for itself. And now it's just gravy, saving the city tens of millions of dollars annually. And that number just gets bigger. Every investigation, audit, and report. Jefferson Parish should have an IG that actually does something. And St. Tammany should have an IG, period. Ed Michel going into all kind of stuff, new, police vehicles, and the city of New Orleans is taking off the tires and rims and putting on new tires and rims on brand new police vehicles. So they ride smoother. It's insane. It's crazy. It's like someone changing the rims and tires on their car to personalize it. That's your prerogative. But I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure BMW, Ford, Chevy, they knew what they were doing when they put the original rims and tires on the car. I'm not saying you can't improve it, but these are police vehicles. Every other police entity in America is like, yeah, the tires and rims are fine. So he does an investigation and audit into that. And where are the tires and rims that were taken off the vehicle? Somebody's making money. It's a scam. It's a joke. Who did the work? Now the VAPI audio leak, the PIB investigation. Why did this thing get leaked in the middle of and I say investigation lightly with the Public Integrity Bureau, because we know how lame that VAPI investigation was. It was a joke. You or I could have done it in our sleep tonight because nothing went down. Anyway, I'll fill you in on that and more on a Wide Open Wednesday. Corey Johnson with you. Yeah, you right.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Picked up Lebanon's Cafe yesterday for lunch. I'm just telling you how it is. A to-go order. Some chicken shawarma. I get it a little extra crispy. I like that little burn on it a little bit. Some tabbouleh, a fried football kibbe, like a Lebanese Middle Eastern meat pie. Absolutely fantastic. Carlina, Heba, Hussein, they'll take care of you like they take care of me. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette, right by the streetcar barn. Authentic, fresh, priced right, large portions. You'll need a to-go box. Yeah, there's no downside. Did I mention shish kebab and lamb chops? Lebanon's Cafe, really good. Today, downtown, Perdido Street, the city council chamber, the sewage and water board folks coming in. The city council thinking the same way I'm thinking. I'm like, I got to get Ghassan Corbin on the show to talk about Saturday. New Orleans City Councilman Eugene Green and his cohorts on the council apparently thinking the same way. How you doing, Eugene?
Just doing fine, Corey. Just doing fine. And we had a meeting that I feel was productive. We did have representatives of the Sewage and Water Board there. Also the director of the Office of Homeland Security, which puts out notices to the public about certain events such as that event. And we recognize, because it started off the right way with both the Sewage and Water Board and the Office of Homeland Security apologizing for what happened on Saturday and endeavoring and making it clear that they will endeavor to work with us to do better and to work with the public to be even more sensitive to them.
Was this meeting scheduled previously, or was it strictly scheduled because of Saturday's events?
Well, no, it was just an event, an agenda item, and added because of the fact that we had the issues with regards to Saturday's flooding. But at the end of the day, there was always going to be a climate control meeting where we just had an agenda item. That's all.
Eugene, if something happens where, I can't meet an obligation and it's beyond my control, I'm probably going to tell you that it's unfortunate, but I don't know if I'm going to apologize because I don't know if I did something wrong. Did Homeland Security, did the Sewage and Water Board do something wrong? What were those two entities apologizing for?
Well, after the weather report came in and it suggested that there was going to be 2 or so inches of rain overnight, it changed. And at the end of the day, the notices didn't go out from Homeland Security. And that is a real separate issue from I shouldn't say that because somebody's going to say, he says the issues are separate. At the end of the day, people moving their cars onto the neutral ground to avoid flooding. If you get the notice that tells you that the flood event is going to require that, then honestly, it does save some people having to get repairs made to their automobiles. It saves them a lot of grief. It lets them know that they might need to leave to go to work early or something like that, or to go somewhere else early. So no notice went out from the Department of Homeland Security saying that the storm severity was more than was anticipated. However, very honestly, we all worked together. So what they did was address that issue, let the public know that we don't want to err on the side of people sending out too many notices, because then people will begin to disregard them if the incident doesn't take place. But they'll monitor those notices because they go out to tens of thousands of people. And so we want them to all be alerted as to when there's something that they need to be aware of.
Eugene Green's with us, New Orleans City Councilman, the council meeting with the Sewage and Water Board just a little while ago. Eugene, most citizens don't care about the difference between a pump or a turbine or 25 hertz or 60 hertz or a new substation or anything. They just don't want their street and then car, home, business flooding when it rains in New Orleans, when there's a heavy rain or a rain event. Was there anything figured out on that front, like turbine 5's down, turbine 6 is down? Folks are tired of hearing that. How do we just make sure that the system works? Is there any way stopgap measure before this substation opens in 2025?
Honestly, Corey, and I'm going to tell you that you can ask them to get this definitive answer. At the end of the day, what we heard is that those notices are going to be extremely important, and that, certain rain events, if it rains, for example, in a concentrated manner over a short period of time, we know that there has to be enough water in the system so that when you turn on these pumps, they don't burn out. There are going to be some water events right now that are a little bit more difficult to handle than others, and those warnings are extremely important. We did not get a commitment that during any flood event or any severe rain event, there wasn't going to be any flooding. It was actually admitted by Sewage and Water Board workers. I went to a community meeting, the Gentilly Terrace and Gardens Neighborhood Association, on Saturday, and the representative stated that there are going to be some rain events that make it very, very difficult for the for keeping up with those events. We saw flooding in Jefferson Parish too.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, I know that it had to do with the Sewage and Water Board system, but the bottom line is that it's a complex matter. I give no excuses for it. The notices are extremely important, and we want to utilize everything that we can out there. I did mention that there are some areas of the city that don't flood. For example, New Orleans East doesn't flood, but the answer that I got was that there is modernization relative to the canal system out there.
Yeah, exactly. Retention ponds.
Right. There's more green space, such as Joe Brown Park and all those. There are other parks there. They're closer to the lake in terms of the distance the water has to go to be pumped out. But the main thing is that it's more modern. So what we're doing is, I want the public to know this. We're not sitting down. We're building an electrical substation at the Sewage and Water Board plant. You can drive by and see it. You can't really walk the grounds for obvious reasons. You can drive by. You can see it. It's real. In 2025, it's going to be at the point where it's providing that backup source of energy that is necessary to keep our system in good operation when we have, then keep those pumps going when there's a failure at a particular area.
Eugene, the system, if every pump was replaced, if the substation is powering every pump at 60 hertz, as everything is working the best way possible, any rain event that's large, we're not going to be able to handle it. We can handle an inch an hour, a half an inch an hour after that. With all of that said, I guess what I'm asking is, do we have a stopgap waiting for this substation open by 2025, or will the old dilapidated system held together with bubble gum and Band-Aids and rubber bands and paper clips, will that system be at its maximum capacity is what I'm asking. And it doesn't appear to be. Turbine 6 is down indefinitely, and 5, the one that went out is, I think 6 is, well, let me start over again. 4, the one that went out over during the weekend, that one is out indefinitely. And turbine 5, it will probably be back online in about a week or two. And those two produce the 25 hertz. They're very old.
Right.
It just seems that when will the system that exists be at 100%? Or are we just sort of stuck with the hodgepodge until the substation opens?
Well, I don't want to predict, because there's obviously complexities relative to getting it back online. I mean, there was a commitment today that, they will be online, in the early part of next year. It might even be, for number 5 later this year. But I do want to say this, Corey, because you have the ability, and a lot of people hear this. We should not expect that even with those repairs, that our system is not going to experience some sort of challenges during a significant rainstorm. And let's make it clear, it floods in Houston, Texas, and that's
it floods in the mountains in Colorado if it's
it floods in Pennsylvania and things like
Yep.
that. But we do our best, recognizing that there are challenges. We don't want anybody sitting down on the job. In my capacity as a council member, I read study after study. Some people take the mic and say, it's as simple as this. You needed to have done this, and so on and so forth. We're building that electrical substation, which maybe should have been built many more years before now, because we recognize that that's an important source. Cleaning of catch basins. Yes, we have tens of thousands of them throughout the city. We've got to do more, and we haven't had the contract executed, for example, to continue to clean the catch basins, even though they get cleaned up on a regular basis. Those sort of matters are important when we recognize that we have concerns relative to flooding, but that, we're doing things that address it. Those bioswales, for example, those other mechanisms that are designed to hold more water, when they come online, we'll be a safer city in that respect. For example, on Monday, and you should come to it, Corey, on Monday at 1:00, Mirabeau Gardens, 1200 Mirabeau Avenue.
I'm very familiar with the site, the old nuns' home right off St. Bernard. They've been discussing that as a retention pond and not water park, like to go for kids to play, but retention pond since Katrina for 18 years. I was about to say, Eugene, it is as simple as this. This should have been done, quoting you, retention ponds, shovels in the ground, small ones, large ones. They should have been doing this since post-Katrina for the last 18 years, and I'll end it with this. You mentioned, hey, you can park on the neutral ground. The dopiest, stupidest crap ever. We don't live on the neutral ground. We have no investment in the neutral ground. There are no homes or businesses on the neutral ground. Yet that's the high area when it floods in the city. That should be the low area that takes in all the water. It's mind-blowing. Park on the neutral ground. Stupidest stuff I've ever heard. How about digging retention ponds already? Jeez.
Well, come out Monday at 1, and you'll see, for example, on Elysian Fields and at parks, we're going to be building more retention ponds. I agree with you that there should be more, and I guess this is a process of getting more. Now, it's not a simple matter of just digging and then you hold the water there, because you got to kind of pump it out.
Oh, no, you got to have another system. You're right. And
at the end of the day, we should all, and also there's another part of it, Corey. I know it doesn't seem that it makes an incredible difference, but it kind of does. We all need to play a role in that respect. I mean, we're doing things like, permeable surfaces and things like that.
No, it's
some
smart.
people have water barrels, and some of this resilience money has actually been spent, and people have done different things in front of their houses, a score of houses throughout the Gentilly area. It's a long-term prospect in terms of living better with water.
You're right.
But the bottom line is that we should be moving in that direction, and I think in some respects we are. Yes, we should have been doing it 50 years ago.
Yeah. No, I think you make some great points. And, the morning call, Bud's Broiler, I noticed the parking lot is that permeated parking that absorbs the water. So, yeah, all of that. We all need to play a role. Hey, Eugene, before we let you go, when's the event at Mirabeau and St. Bernard Avenue? Monday?
Right. It's going to be at 1200 Mirabeau, which is right at Mirabeau and St. Bernard, just a block, just a couple
block
houses over from there. Right. And it's also 1200 Mirabeau, and it's the Gentilly Resilience District to kick off of that project, which at the end of the day is going to hold millions of gallons of water before they enter the sewer system, which will make it a little bit more a little bit easier to handle some of the flood waters that we get for special events like this. And it is the beginning. Once this project is finished, we'll be continuing with others because the future, especially based on the storms that we see now and just a lot of the climate change issues that we see, this is the beginning of something that we will be continuing with for decades.
What time Monday, Eugene?
1:00.
1 p.m. Monday. I'll see you there.
I'll look forward to it. And those who are listening can come and hear a little bit more about this site, which is going to include a learning center. It's going to include water gardens, and it's going to be one of multiple projects that are taking place throughout this area that are going to help to hold water, and they'll allow us to live with water a bit better.
Yeah, work with it instead of against it. Thank you, Eugene.
Okay. You're welcome, sir. I'll look forward to talking to you soon and seeing you Monday.
Yep, see you Monday.
And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa, and now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
I am going to be on Mirabeau and St. Bernard Avenue, about a block in towards Paris Avenue on the Gentilly side, not the lake side of Mirabeau. It was like an old nun's home forever. And I can't even guess the acreage. It's a lot. I mean, I think 10 is too small. I think it's probably about 12 to 20 acres, if I had to guess. And it's been sitting there empty pretty much since Katrina for 18 years. Now, it's funny when Eugene said, it's as simple as this, should have done it back then. It's like, exactly. No, a lot of people say that kind of crap on, anything. They make broad statements, but we should have been digging retention ponds since the New Orleans congregation went to the Netherlands to see what they're doing over there. I mean, they use our wood screw pumps. The wood screw pumps that the pumps that pump water out of our city. They use that technology in the Netherlands. But the Netherlands work with the water instead of against it. I mean, I look at Hain Boulevard, that flood wall down Hain Boulevard out in New Orleans East by the train tracks. The wall might as well say, people, stay away. Radioactive. I mean, there's nothing inviting about it at all. Without any budget change, not affecting how much it costs to build a wall, just think about, hey, people could come out here and run and jog and watch the lake and sit on a bench and walk their dog. Make it like people friendly. Because I got news for you. 999 days out of 1,000, it's not used for flood protection. 999 days out of 1,000, it just sits there doing nothing. It should be doing something for us. Like, you can gravitate towards that area and people want to be there. The neutral grounds are the biggest. I laugh at this. You can park on the neutral ground. when a rain event goes down. It's the only area. I mean, if you have to come up with an area, where's there no investment? Where do no people go? Where's there no buildings or businesses or cars or anything? It's the neutral ground. Everywhere else, they're people. Streets, houses, businesses, yards, all that, where we are. So when there's a rain event, the area that's no man's land is the high ground. It's mind-blowing. Every neutral ground should be just some, I forget what neutral ground it was today I saw with the linear park that they're building on it. Let me think. It was actually in Metri, brah. Where was it? Oh, on Bonneville. Bonneville has like a zigzagging path, like Napoleon Avenue. All of that could still be there, and instead of grass on the side, there'd be pampas grass and like a railing and a water feature and maybe like a water fountain going, and then some guys fishing on a fishing pier 50 yards down, all while cyclists and joggers and people sitting on a bench, checking it out. You would attract people to the neutral ground. It would be a great thing. It would be like a naturally New Orleans thing, like marsh and swamp that we got rid of. I go down like West End, Pontchartrain Boulevard out by the lake. That was once the New Basin Canal. We filled it in. I mean, it's like someone take a sledgehammer with a Major League Baseball player swinging it into the side of my head already. I mean, it's mind-blowing. We filled in a ditch that, boy, so many Irish died from digging that, from malaria and, all kind of other mosquito-borne illnesses. And we filled it in. Nice tribute to them. Now, I get why you filled it in where I-10 is, but even then, in today's world, you probably leave a lot of it and build I-10 like it's elevated anyway. You build it in the like bog or marsh or wetland or retention pond. And the I-10's above it. We're not going around I-10 anyway. It's an interstate. Cars are doing 70. You get killed, hanging out on the interstate. So the roads, all that's important, the areas around it where no one is, that should all be retention ponds. We're New Orleans. We made major mistakes filling in like Bayou Metairie and when we dug canals, filling them in like New Basin or Carondelet Canal. Just crazy. We need to do the opposite. We should have retention ponds everywhere. No, you heard Eugene Green. He mentioned the Mirabeau Gardens. I'm going to be there Monday at 1, checking that out. He mentioned quickly Elysian Fields. Elysian Fields neutral ground from like the river to the lake is supposed to be a big linear, retention pond. And then you have jogging paths and all that. If you go by Pontchartrain Park, the Joe Bartholomew Golf Course, on, I don't know if it's Congress Street. It's the curved street from like the clubhouse to basically Press Drive. It's angles around the golf course. There's a retention pond, a linear retention pond in between the road and the golf course. I bet you that road doesn't flood anymore. I bet if you talk to Pontchartrain Park residents, they're like, yeah, big rain. Congress used to hold some water. Not anymore. Flows in the retention pond, which, by the way, is beautiful. I mean, it's really nice. It's like, wow, I'm in the inner city New Orleans, yet there's a, marsh, wetland, a little retention pond. They should be all over the place. If you go down, what is it? Fillmore. You go down Fillmore, it's in between the London Avenue Canal and like St. Anthony. There's a lot. It was a house, got knocked down after Katrina, blight, demolished. The city took it over. Someone did. It's a retention pond. The lot on the corner is a nice little retention pond. Go look at that. And that's just a small version of one. Could have those all over the city. You know who knows we should have been digging, and he's a pro at digging? There he is. What, buddy? You dig holes all the time in the backyard, and you notice when it rains, they fill with water. Wow. Gravity. What, buddy? Sir what? Sir who? Sir Isaac Newton? Blue Boy, you're a genius. Coming right back, 5 o'clock power hour.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Susan Spicer joining us on the program.
Even when they presented me the award, the people that I look up to the most, Frank was there and Donald Link was there. It does cause you to reflect back and think about your whole career.
Maybe the Sella Brennan Award says that to you, like I've arrived.
It certainly is kind of the ultimate honor when it comes to cooking and hospitality in New Orleans and the world.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
Doesn't get much better than that, huh?
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Ooh Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ula Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
I'm flexing the motorcycle throttle, and it's the Mach 5. The only positive thing I can say about Speed Racer is he was a little courageous and brave at times. I think it was just he didn't know any better. But he did date a chick named Trixie, which that's a pretty cool name. I mean, I'd like to date a girl. This is Trixie.
I knew a dancer named Trixie.
That's it. I know no one named Trixie. But the best part about Trixie, Joe, besides, I mean, she's looked pretty cute. I mean, she's a cartoon character. I have no idea. She's, but she flies around in a helicopter, you know. You don't have to pick up your date in your car. The date's going to just I don't know, fly over your house, drop a rope ladder, or land in a field down the block, or I'll park at the Walmart parking lot. I'll land there and you jump in. That is convenient.
And he had a cool monkey.
Well, that scares me, to be honest with you. See that Japamation or whatever you want to call it, the Japanese doing the cartoon. Basically, I mean, you got to think about what these cartoons mean. This is sort of a Japanese possibility interpretation of America. And it's just Pops Racer, like a Dad Racer, Father's his name, Pops is his name. And then Sparky's last name was Plugs, the mechanic, like spark plugs. But the fact that essentially they were like, Spritel, just like a fat, spoiled brat kid. So he's fat and he's a spoiled brat. Like that's what they're saying about America. And all American children eat a you-know-what load of candy and have a pet monkey. Like it's such an obnoxious thing. And then you see like Paris Hilton walking around with like a dog in her purse at a club. And you're like, that's close to the pet monkey thing, kind of, And then, I'm at the racetrack getting a bag of M&Ms or something while I'm getting gas. And I'm an adult and I'm eating candy. So, yeah, I mean, it was only an embellishment or an exaggeration. Sadly, it wasn't like a lie. We are fat, spoiled kids. This is in the 70s, not today. This is 50 years ago, Speed Racer. More than that, 60 years ago, basically. Almost, about 55 years ago, 50 years ago. Speed Racer saying American children are fat, spoiled brats, not very smart. Spritel was stupid and always getting in trouble and just doing dumb crap. Like the kids in America aren't disciplined. They're stupid. And they eat a lot of candy and not really nutritious food, and they have a pet monkey. Oh, boy. Thank you, Japamation. Is it Japamation? How do you pronounce it, Jim?
Anime? A lot of kids like the anime now.
I know that.
I don't know if that was a precursor.
But the original was
Japanimation.
Japanimation. There you go. Japamation. That's like racist. You said Jap. Wow. Sorry, Japanese friends. How'd you say it again, Joe?
Japanimation.
So just say Japanimation. I got it. Japanimation. I was screwing it up and thinking more about the animation part instead of just getting Japan out. Japanimation. That's what Speed Racer is. I guess when Japan got into the cartoons. Hey, we're really starting to pound America with these Toyotas and Hondas or Datsuns. And Sony Trinitrons are going off the shelf. Let's not only put RCA and Zenith out of business, but let's start producing cartoons too and really take over America. Japan is our friend. I would love to go to Japan. That's on my bucket list, I guess. I actually one time sat down and wrote bucket list. and then put a line and just started writing places I want to go to. It's about 25 deep. But the Japan trip is, you've got to be practical about it. And sadly, being practical means being ridiculously impractical. Because practical means I'm not flying all the way there like nonstop. I'm going to California for like 3 days. Then I'm flying to Hawaii for 3 days. Then I'm going to Japan for like a week. And then flying back is going to be even trickier. You're probably going to want to get back. So I'll probably just do the overnight Japan to LA gimmick or something. But then I'm probably going to be like, do I want to get back to New Orleans right away? Which probably be the case. Just the way back's going to be brutal. I'm thinking I may have to stay in instead of like if I go to LA on the way, maybe I come back through San Francisco and stay there like 3 days. So making it sort of practical makes it realistically unpractical. They're just so expensive. My trip goes from, $1 to like $3 doing it. Stay in California for a while, go to Hawaii. I mean, adding Hawaii to the itinerary, like that's just stop. On the way to Avondale, we stopped in West Wego, dude. It's a little more than that.
Next thing you know, you're Tom Selleck. You're on a surfboard. You're just a Hawaii guy now.
Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Joe, you ever thought about a reverse mortgage? Seriously. Could free up some extra cash. We could go party. You could pay for my Japan trip. You could pay for it. And you're not paying any monthly mortgage. Just, the house loses equity and you have to pay that at the end.
How could you not trust him? He's got such kind eyes.
And there's interest involved. It's no free money. I don't get the whole reverse mortgage. I guess it's a reverse mortgage because you don't pay a monthly note.
Yeah, and you plan to die at the end.
Yes, you plan to die at the end. And you're not paying a monthly note. Otherwise, it's refinancing your house. But I guess since you don't pay a note, the money you take out, like the 50 grand or whatever, the monthly notes added to that 50 grand. So I would think the kids are going, gosh, mom and dad, they pulled that 75,000 out and dad got the boat and everything. And we love that. But now we have to pay back 140. What? I kind of think the reverse mortgage works that way ultimately. No, it doesn't. I'm Tom Selleck. Our company makes no profit. We're here strictly for you. We'll even lose money. We're run by a billionaire. We want to make sure you're okay.
I trust him.
I trust him. You should too. I love that line. Your boy from Law and Order, Malini or whatever. He does like the copper shirts and stuff. You need this. Oh, okay, dude. And then he's like, Joe, he's like 60 something. He beat the crap out of both of us. He looks pretty tough still. Looks like he hits the gym every day. He's fit as a fiddle.
Yeah, Chris Maloney.
Yeah, he has the copper thing. He's like, trust me, those kind of things always worry me a little bit. I was never one to be like, hey guys, it's Woodhouse Day Spa. It's holiday season. Get that Woodhouse Day Spa. Tell him Corey sent you. Hi, could I get the Big Mac, the French fries, and the Coke? Hey, by the way, is it Charlie on your name tag? Corey sent me. Say, dude, I'm just taking your McDonald's order. I don't know. Corey isn't could give a crap. What's your? You want onion rings? Wow. Anyway, it is a Wednesday. It is holiday season. A Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate would be a great gift for her, guys. At the very least, a stocking stuffer, maybe the A gift. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse right now. Who's LaToya Wilder? Who is LaToya Wilder? Give me the answer to that, and I got 50 bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate in the program. 504-766-9480. 766-9480. Who is LaToya Wilder? She gets a little wild, especially when she gets these crazy inclinations, goes on these trips. Hey, Gallier Hall was designed by James Gallier. Who designed the Pontalba Apartments? Who designed the Pontalba apartments, the architect? Give me the answer to either one of those questions. I've got 50 big bucks for you, good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse locations. 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana. Check them out online. Print your own gift certificates. Book a reservation. WoodhouseSpas.com. WoodhouseSpas.com. Guys with your lady friends, you guys with lady friends, what am I going to get her? Is she going to like it? She's going to like a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Both questions answered. Stress level reduced. You're done. You don't have to worry about it. WoodhouseSpas.com. It is a wide open Wednesday. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. The Sewage and Water Board and the City Council met today at the City Council chambers. New Orleans City Councilman Eugene Green joined us last hour. We'll talk about what went down and what it all means for future rain events and turbines and pumps and substation and all of that. Fill you in on that and more when we come back.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread. There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson with you, a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. I've got a couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. Who was the architect of the Pontalba Apartments? Hint, hint, the same architect of Gallier Hall, 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Who is LaToya Wilder? Author, poet, playwright. Incorrect. Joe, are you familiar with our yeah, you right, yeah, you wrong sounders? You are? Like if someone's like, Frank and Chalmette, you're correct. We hit the yeah, you right sounder. Frank and Chalmette, you are correct.
Yeah, you right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Sorry, Frank and Chalmette. That is incorrect.
Yeah, you wrong.
That Price is Right thing is sort of just like, just missed the putt.
I feel like that sound follows me around in life.
Well, it can follow you around in life sometimes, Joe. You don't want it to be your theme song, though. You want something peppy and upbeat to be your theme song. But yes, every now and then, if you stepped in a puddle or something like that, it starts out strong, like you're the winner. It kind of fools you. The whole, and then just deflates quickly. You're a loser. That's what it sort of says. It's kind of brutal. And then later, Bob Barker hooked up with some of the ladies that were, in bikinis showing you items.
Yeah, you right. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Bob Barker. Although I respect Bob Barker. Way back in like 72. Hey, because it's California. Right away, I'm like, California. It was like watching Sesame Street. I was like, New York. Right away, California. I'm like, he's like, spay and neuter your dogs and cats. He was always into spay and neutering your animals, which I respect the hell out of that. And what a great message. And, how many cats and dogs, kittens and puppies did he save from suffering, from being put down? Yeah, you're right, Bob Barker.
And man enough to use that skinny mic for all those years.
Yeah, God.
That was his trademark.
That skinny mic was like, you're in 1983 and 1972, dude. You're like 10 years ahead of your time. Yeah, speaking of California, that's what I always think, Joe. It's funny. I fly in like to L.A. or San Francisco, and I do it all the time, and I'm a world traveler. I don't know the last time I've even been. It's been years. But when I land in like L.A. or San Fran, for some reason, I'm like, I'm entering the future, kind of. And then when I used to land at old Louis Armstrong, and especially coming off the plane, you hit the jetway, and it's humid and hot. And then you're like, back to 1975.
Yeah, you wrong.
Okay, Joe, we're abusing it now. It was funny listening to the Gavin Newsom DeSantis debates. Like DeSantis just like, Florida's booming. Everybody's moving from California to Florida. And I like Florida. I have nothing against the state of Florida. I like it. I see why people are moving there. But California is like, if it were its own country, it's got like the 6th largest economy in the world. In the United States, it's like about 18% of our GNP. It's like it's not a 5th, it's about a 6th. It's ridiculous. People love California. There's a reason 40 million people live there. Like twice Florida's population. Now, I don't get the 30 million that live in Texas. Strictly economy. That's all I can think that's based on. It can't be a quality of life thing. Strictly like, dude, I'd live in Omaha if they paid me the money I get in Dallas and Houston and Austin and San Antonio. That can be the only thing. I don't know how 30 million people live in Texas. That's mind-blowing. And there's room for like 30 million more. West Texas is just a wasteland. They could do like Brazil. We're doing Brasilia. We're doing Texas, Texas out in the desert. We're going to make it a 10 million people city. It'll happen if they want. Florida is great. Texas is all right. I mean, whatever. But California is special. I don't know. I don't get the, California's just terrible. It's such like it's a crappy place. It's like, I don't know. I think it's a vacation destination. I mean, San Diego's really nice. Los Angeles, it's like 3 or 4 states in one. I mean, San Francisco, Sacramento, Northern California, wine country. I mean, come on. It's like there's a lot of great things about California. Beach in the morning, snow skiing in the afternoon by car. You can be like Big Bear in like 3 hours from downtown LA. I mean, just head out to the desert, Palm Desert, whatever. There's a lot of things that are way beyond 99% of the population's reach. Malibu, beachside homes, and all that stuff. But everybody lives in California, all different socioeconomic levels. It's got problems like every state does. But just this like war on California. California sucks. It's just like it's crazy.
It's homogenous too.
This steak and lobster sucks. Yeah, exactly.
A lot of Republicans in California, in case you didn't know.
Oh, no, lots. Exactly. Almost half the state. Now, the folks that are bashing California, like, you're going to make me carry this heavy gold bar you're giving me? Damn you. You're giving me the gold bar and I have to physically carry it or move it myself. Damn you. It's just like, really? It's like the people that, the Hollywood, these generalizations. I like Hollywood movies. I like movies. Movies are incredible. I like great, well-produced movies and television, actors, all that kind of stuff. Life's pretty simple. Like when I want a movie or a concert or art, you probably go to like a liberal type person, generally speaking. When I want farming getting done right, someone to run the bank, a business entrepreneurial type, I probably want a conservative type person. Don't want the bank going, oh, you got crappy credit. Don't want the bank being Frankie and Johnny Furniture. Let them have it. But my credit sucks. I have no intention of paying you. Let them have it. You don't want the bank being like liberal like that. I get that. But you don't want Hollywood or comedians, music by conservatives is Lee Greenwood. I'm proud to be an American. Because I can make up the words. Proud to be American, where at least I know I'm free. If I get real tired, I can get down on one knee. And I can say to myself, I'm hungry. And what's cool about America, there's lots of places to eat. I mean, it's just, anyone can make it up. It's not a musician. If you're like, no, dude, I got Lee Greenwood's 3 CD set. It kicks ass. No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. Drives the women away.
No one's ever said that.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm following a Prius the other day, Joe. And it said I forget the adjective or whatever the descriptive was, like awesome Prius or beautiful Prius in quotes. And then it had dash. Nobody. Like no one's, and it's on their Prius. It's like, dude, I like this guy's style. He knows what he's driving. It's a Prius, he admits it. Yeah, I don't think anyone said that. Never in history. Dude, I've got the Lee Greenwood 3 CD set. It kicks ass. That's never, ever been said, only on this program. We bring you things you get nowhere else.
Oh, I'm going to come over. I'll bring some chicks.
I got Lee Greenwood playing on a loop, dude. On a loop, just Lee Greenwood. Proud to be an American. I love that too. Like, who's not? They'd be living somewhere else. There are a lot of people that hate America. No, they don't. They're just being critical of it, maybe more than you like, but they very much like America or they would not live here. And if they're like, you're wrong, Corey, I hate it, well, then you're stupid. I don't know what to tell you. Move somewhere where you'd like it then. Jeez. No, I'm here to torture myself. Hate America. Jeez. Oh, boy. Crazy. All right, Joe, that's my last oh, boy, on air and off air. I got a friend of mine that says it all the time. Oh, boy. And I picked up on it like 2 weeks ago, and it has to stop. In my early radio days, basically was a big crutch word of mine.
I need to start using oh boy because I have a little boy and I use the other word. So,
Yep. Yeah, you do. You need a wall with just huge poster boards of like, by golly, darn,
Jeepers
creepers. Exactly. Geesh is a good one. I often send my brother, he'll send me a text and my reply is, and a geesh. Like, and a geesh. Like, geesh, really? Like, that's it? Oh, boy. Well, I just did it, Joe. You see that? How easy that happens? Basically, it just comes out. Basically. At least I don't say, I mean, F-bomb, I mean, F-bomb, and, By the way, he joins us Fridays with Fletch. Hey, best quality, best price, best selection. I must be talking about Rouse's Markets. There are over 60 Rouse's. South Louisiana, New Orleans, Southern Mississippi, Southern Alabama. And like when you mention different little towns and cities, it's their grocery store. Like New Orleans, there are over 60 Rouse's. In Metro New Orleans, there are over 20. Like 1/3 of all Rouse's locations are in Metro New Orleans. Then you could go to like Mobile, Alabama. Yeah, I said Mobile, Alabama. 6 Rouse's in Metro Mobile. And then you got another one in Gulf Shores, another one in Orange Beach. So really 8 Rouse's in Metro Mobile. It's Mobile, Alabama's grocery store. And then, of course, the Gulf Coast. You got a couple in Gulfport, Diamond Head Rouse's. I mean, folks in Bay St. Louis, Pass Christian, Long Beach, Henderson Point, Waveland. You got to go up to Diamond Head and the Rouse's to get quality groceries in that area. They got you covered. Rouse's at Diamond Head, Ocean Springs Rouse's, Lake Charles, 3 Rouse's, Lafayette, 3 Rouse's. And then you got like Metro Lafayette, like New Iberia has a Rouse's. And then down on the bayou, come on, 4 in Homa, 3 in Thibodaux. You got 1 in Matthews. You got 1 in Lockport, 2 in LaRose, Golden Meadow, all up and down LA 1 308. Rouse's Markets, Highway 190. Rouse's Markets, tastes like home. I love Rouse's. They got everything. Local products, national, international, and the Rouse's brand stuff. I'm not big on that kind of stuff normally. Generic brands. I saw somebody with like you get all this at a Aldi grocery or something. And I looked at the picture and I'm like, is there a name brand on any of those products? I don't have to buy the name brand, but I like Heinz ketchup. I like Blue Plate mayonnaise. I like French's mustard, just how it is. I buy Bounty paper towels. I buy, I'm not like into the name brand. I gravitated towards the name brands after I was looking for stuff that represented quality and flavor and taste. I don't go for these generic brands. Rouse's labeled items, the Rouse's brand, normally I would just not gravitate towards that stuff. But then I started buying some of the Rouse's items because they're like half the price, the same or even better quality of the name brand stuff. So even someone like me that buying these name brand items that I've zeroed in on. I've now zeroed in on the Rouse's label, the Rouse's brand. Going to Italy. They got like 3 different extra virgin olive oils, all different price points. Absolutely fantastic. I did a little test with a Cola Vita, about $20 a bottle. Rouse's was like $10 a bottle. Poured them on a plate. Same color, same spread, like the thickness, the viscosity. I mean, just how it spread across the plate, like same speed. Finger test, tasting it. It was like the exact same olive oil. I'm like, is this Rouse's a Cola Vita? And they just, Cola Vita makes it and they put the Rouse's label on it. That's exactly how it works with these Rouse's items. They pick the best producers of items and they get them for a great price. They skip the middleman. They put a Rouse's label on it, and it's all super high quality stuff that you won't be disappointed getting. Some of it, you see it right next to the competitor, and you can tell it's the competitor's item, and it's like half the price. That's at every Rouse's. The Rouse's labeled stuff. You can't go wrong with that. Hey, I had Eugene Green on in the 4 o'clock hour, New Orleans City Councilman. The city council today meeting with the Sewage and Water Board. I mean, I had Ghassan Corban on the show Monday because of Saturday's rain event. I got in touch with my contact at the Sewage and Water Board, their media relations person. Hey, I apologize for contacting you on a Saturday, but I need Ghassan on Monday because of this event going down today on Saturday. And that went down. I had Ghassan on Monday because why is Turbine 4 down? Why are streets flooding? What the hell? And the city council did the same thing. I know this sounds crazy, especially if your car got flooded out. Ghassan Corban is the answer, not the problem. He's part of the solution, not the problem. He's one of the few. I'm sure there are other people. I don't want to disparage everyone who works in New Orleans city government, but he's one of the few people that works in New Orleans city government that actually is responsible for his job, that does a good job, that you can confront him about problems and he has answers. He's not hiding behind anything. He didn't come from Milwaukee after running their public works for 20, 25 years, came to New Orleans like, thinking, hey, it's the same kind of gig. He came in knowing it is a total rebuild. And that's what's going on. And he's the guy behind it. And it's all going in a pretty good direction, but there's still going to be problems because of pumps that run on 25 hertz and still relying on turbine 4 and 5, which are always breaking down. Circa 1915 turbine 4, circa 1958 turbine 5. Producing 25 hertz power, yesteryear electricity to power these pumps that run on 25 hertz. As 25 hertz pumps start breaking, they're replaced by 60 hertz pumps. It's probably going to take 20 years to replace all the pumps. 20 years. But the new substation will still have converters converting the 60 hertz new power to 25 to power those old pumps. The main power will now be that substation. These turbines will be backup power. There's already a turbine, 4 and 5. Number 6 is the GE jet engine. That is operational. It is a Army Corps of Engineers build from 2008, post-Katrina. It's 15 years old. Turbine 7 is sitting in a crate on Sewage and Water Board property, just waiting to get hooked up. And if they get a turbine 8 from the same San Diego company, I believe they got turbine 7 from, the auxiliary power problem will be solved with turbines 6, the jet engine, 7, that's on site, that isn't hooked up, and 8, which is yet to be purchased. They'll have backup power problem solved. The substation, it's basically Energy's West Bank Power Station, those big towers that come across the river at the parish line, going straight down the parish line. So it's about a 2-mile run from Energy's power plant, 3 miles tops, across the river to the Sewage and Water Board plant. Direct power. So the Fluke, that substation goes out. The Fluke, they've got those turbines to back it up. But that substation doesn't go on until 2025. And it's going to be another 18 months of playing bubble gum, Band-Aids, paper clips, rubber bands holding together. Turbine 4, circa 1915, built by Thomas Edison, reportedly, was at the Niagara Falls power plant. Sewage and Water Board bought it used probably like in the 30s, 40s, 50s, who knows? And then Turbine 5 is from 1958, and it's always breaking down. These things are huge. Turbine 4 is literally like 3 school buses stacked on top of each other, 3 stories high. Turbine 5 is like 2 school buses in size. And Turbine 6, the jet engine, is about the size of a minivan, a Suburban. So that's where the technology's going. And by the way, the 1915 Turbine 4, it is steam powered. We boil water and the steam spins a wheel. Literally. We boil water and the steam spins a wheel. Later, we get on a steam engine train. It's steam powered, literally. The 1958 is natural gas. I think it can even run on diesel if it has to. But the Thomas Edison, that Thomas Edison, the 1915 Turbine 4 that just broke down Saturday again, that runs on steam power. Yeah. You're boiling some water, producing steam, and spins the little wheel, and we get a little jolt of electric. Ouch, that hurt.
Watch out for the earwigs.
Exactly. Wow. Unbelievable. It's all true. That's what's crazy. There's nothing I'm making up. Hey, I'm not making up this either. Young's is a New Orleans institution. They've been around since 1940. Before we got into World War II, 83 going on 84 years of excellence. Dale and Don, 4th generation, they take pride in their family business. Walk-up locations, old school, free pickup and delivery, today's preferred method, and even the future of dry cleaning. Young's Express, their manless locker locations. If you're tired of your dry cleaner and want to experience the best, or if you just want to experience the best dry cleaner, youngsdrycleaning.com. That's youngsdrycleaning.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have a guy who really have a burning desire to get a quality education and also be a great football player. You got to have both.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane Union.
University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. We just a dime for a person who came up to me after, I had tickets in the old Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And then, that's good that we're able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll wave.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the neutral ground.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the River, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans' grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Yeah, you right, Chris.
What? That's what I said.
What? I know you can play that, Joe. That's French for French bread. Leidenheimer. Nothing wrong with talking about them. I had some Leidenheimer last night. It's starting to be a little bit of a problem, Joe. It's hard to not eat that entire little mini loaf of Leidenheimer. I did it last night, and I swear I broke off, like we call it, like a Yaddy New Orleanian, the nose, the end. And so I had like maybe 70% of the loaf that I said I was going to eat. And then I'm literally walking the plate with butter on it and the other part to the garbage can. And I put the plate on the counter by the garbage can and buttered up the little nose. And I threw away like one bite of the loaf to like, well, you threw away some of it, Corey. You didn't eat the whole loaf. You ate 95% of it. No, I had a mini loaf of Leidenheimer. I got a to-go order from a nice restaurant. It was in this like kind of foilish bag almost. Not the paper bag, but like that. But it had a little foil feel to it where you could really seal it up. But I don't think you'd want to stick that bag in the oven. I think it would just catch on fire. But I put the Leidenheimer in the oven, not in foil, just sitting on the rack by itself. I put the oven on 350. I didn't preheat it. I just let it go. And then in about 5 minutes, I flipped the bread over, which really I didn't need to do at all. And then a few minutes later, I flipped it back over again, which I didn't need to do at all, just being anal and wanting that bread. And then I pulled it out where it like almost burned my fingers. It was piping hot, the crust. Put it on a plate, put a big old blob of room temperature butter on the plate, and went and sat down at the table and proceeded to eat 95% of that loaf of Leidenheimer French bread. I mean, Joe, it's just piping out like I barely could break it open. And then I don't know about you. Sometimes I pull a little of the middle out, and then I just coated the butter, and it's liquefying instantly. And then I put too much butter.
Yeah, I make like a butter sandwich.
And it's a butter sandwich. I snap I've got it in my hand. I break it in so it collapses on top, and it's literally crust on the bottom and the top, and then butter in the middle. And it's almost dripping out, and it is just fantastic because it's hot, and the butter's room temperature just melting. And that Leidenheimer French bread tastes fantastic, especially when it can be room temperature on a po' boy and it's the bread you want. But when it's piping hot, you know, what's funny. I mean, I'm lucky because I get to talk about, advertisers and clients. And I guess that's like part of the job, and other on-air talent around the country, around the world would just be like, it's part of the job, and I have to talk about these companies. And some of them I don't even know about, or just talk about them. Some of them I do, whatever. I mean, I get to talk about Leidenheimer. Like, there's no downside to it. There's, everybody I talk about, all my clients, I mean, there's nothing bad about any of them. They're all the best at what they do.
I'm thinking about Leidenheimer sopping up some Drago's oyster, char-grilled oyster stuff, and I want to run out of here right now.
Yeah, I'm thinking like about Blue Plate mayonnaise I just talked about, Joe. What else? Helm Paint and Decorating. Where else would you go for paint? Lebanon's Cafe. Some of the finest Middle Eastern food anywhere. Woodhouse Day Spa. It's the city's premier day spa. There are 5 of them now. Rouse's Market, New Orleans Grocery, South Louisiana's Grocery, Young's Dry Cleaning. 80 years. No one does it better. Katie's in Mid-City. I mean, is there a better New Orleans neighborhood restaurant that shows you what New Orleans is all about? Fausto's Italian Bistro, Sicilian and Italian at its best. Irene's in the Quarter. That's Fausto and Roland's sister. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, real natural diamonds. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers for 50 years. Leidenheimer French bread. The Lamarck Automotive Complex, #1 Ford dealership, #1 Lincoln dealership. Trey Yen in Mandeville, like top 50 Chinese restaurant in America. Not Chinese food, Chinese cuisine. River City's Total Maintenance, 30 plus trucks, 30 plus techs. No, maybe not a bigger, more established, more experienced air conditioning and heating outfit in the metro area in South Louisiana. They're the best at what they do. Latrim, a global manufacturing giant. I mean, I'm not bragging. I swear, I'm not patting myself on the back. I was saying I'm fortunate. Every client I talk about, the best at what they do in the city. I'm picky. I get to choose. I turn down people. Hey, I'm sorry, I got someone in that category, which might be true. I'm not going to tell them, hey, your product stinks. I've been there. It's terrible. Or I think it's mediocre. I don't really want to promote it. I don't say things like that. I'm not mean. But some clients that approach me, I don't really go to their place. It's not for me. I don't think it's good. It would be hard for me to do it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to take money from things I don't believe in. That's why when these gambling outfits with, push our gambling sites, Corey, we want you to do it. And it was a lot of money. I was like, no, I don't gamble. And I don't mind if you gamble, but I'm not going to push that. Not going to push it. If someone asked me to promote their coffee and I did the research and I was like, high quality, all that, I would promote their coffee. And I would say, but you can't take my word for it because I don't drink coffee. I don't know if they want me to promote it because I couldn't do a testimonial, but I could say, hey, if I drank coffee, this is what I drink because I did the research and these beans are from Colombia and they take the extra steps. And, when you do coffee, you got to do this and they do that. A lot of people cut corners and do this. I'd find out everything about it. I'd be educated before I'd accept it. But no, it would be weird to do something that I don't, consume or believe in. So no, I'm lucky. Leidenheimer, so easy to talk about. Proud to talk about it. They're like part of the fabric of New Orleans. It's incredible. Joe, I'm sitting here talking about all these folks, and you're saying I have to take a break. Okay. Hey, you can check us out on YouTube, The Nutri-Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. New Orleans City Councilman Eugene Green joined us in the 4:00 hour discussing the council and the Sewage and Water Board meeting. Pretty interesting stuff. Speaking of Sewage and Water Board, on Monday, go to our YouTube channel, The Nutri-Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. You can go to Monday and listen to Ghassan Korban and learn about the Sewage and Water Board and turbines and pumps and 25 hertz and 60 hertz and all of that stuff, the substation. You can check out past programs via YouTube. Corey Johnson with you on a Wednesday.
Experience now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville, the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
You know, body language tells you a lot about what a person's thinking. For instance, that means she has an interest in the finer things in life.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
That means she also wants a little fun in her life, but only with the right man.
Corey Johnson.
Now she's pouring a Colt 45, and we all know what that means.
Yeah, you right.
Mind if I join you?
You must have read my mind.
Something like that.
I like the fact that someone handed Billy D. Williams a script, and the final line, it said, Billy D, and then it said something with like no G and a, exclamation, what you mean, geez, I'm going super dumb here.
Billy D will do that to you, man. He's smooth. He did it to the ladies.
Something with a, what's the not the comma, Joe? It's, geez, Apostrophe. Christ. Unbelievable. Uh-oh. Parkinson's is setting in. Something apostrophe no G like that was literally the Billy D, you said something like that. We don't really want it like something like that. Like like you're almost like passing out. You're so cool. You can't say something. You say something like that. Now you got it. Print. Anyway, guess what? It is Colt 45 brand malt liquor time. Do not dare what? The bowl? What? You want to go bowling? Do not dare put Colt 45 brand malt liquor in your bowl. Wow, I hear you, Boo Boy. You don't want to drink any of that. Okay, smart. You want some kibble and walking right now. Got it, buddy. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.